From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Breaking news tonight, firefighters make a disturbing discovery after putting the flames out at a vacant house.
Students suspended. A knife found after two 8th graders get into a fight, but one mom says her son was unfairly punished.
But first, trouble is brewing outside. Take a live look at the roads on the left. Seem to be just wet for now, but look on the right. Snow making its way across Metro Detroit. And we'll start there tonight at 11. Once again, morning commuters are going to get the worst of it.
We'll have a winter weather advisory in effect from now until tomorrow afternoon. Ben Bailey is here to break it all down for us. Ben.
Hi, Kim and Devin. Yeah, not everybody is going to be affected the same starting tomorrow morning, but this band of snow that is setting up looks like it wants to linger for a while, and that could cause some significant issues, especially in our north zone for tomorrow morning's commute. Let's look at the model. All the runs that we've looked at for the last several days have had this band set up. It's just been in various places and in various intensities. It's been kind of like trying to nail Jello to a wall, but you can see by 7 a.m. this thing is just going to rotate and pivot and pretty much stay in the same spot. So a lot of our north zone continuing to get moderate snow through the start of the commute. That's going to linger through at least the lunch hour, and then things taper off at least for the short term. So 6 a.m. will be some of our heaviest snow, and again, that's mainly going to be north of Detroit. For that reason, winter weather advisories out north of 8 Mile and also Washtenaw County. That's until 1 o'clock tomorrow, and you can see 6 a.m. we're looking at snow mainly west and north, and then those snow showers a little bit more spread through the area, but they will be lighter the later we get through the morning. But this isn't it. We've got more snow coming late Wednesday and then again on Thursday. We'll look at all of those totals, check out your storm pins, and see what the weekend looks like in a few minutes. Guys?
All right, Ben, it's your updated forecast first thing in the morning with Local 4 News today. We bring you weather and traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 4s. They get started at 4:30 a.m.
All right, now to breaking news from Detroit, where firefighters discovered a body once they put out the flames at an abandoned house. Tim Pamplin is on the scene with a night cam.
This grisly discovery being made after firefighters snuffed out the flames here. 75 northbound, service drive in 8 Mile. There's the house there. It's completely destroyed. I'm being told it was abandoned, was set on fire once before. Detroit police sources are telling me that they believe this body, this victim, was dumped here in this home and then the structure set on fire. That's their working premise. They are asking for your help this evening. Again, very busy intersection, 8 Mile and I-75. If you saw anything before this scene developed, i.e. before the fire, please do give them a call. The arson squad are here en masse going through this home looking for evidence. There you go, they've even got the arson dog sniffing for accelerants, any evidence they might get. That's the scene right now at 8 Mile and 75 with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. Now to the recurring issue of safety in schools. Today, a Utica high school student was charged with making threats. Police say 18-year-old Timothy Evans made threats against the school on social media, and then gun and ammo were found in his home. He's charged with making terroristic threats or false reports of terrorism.
And it seems the number of threats have spiked since the shooting that happened in Parkland, Florida.
And in light of recent events, students across the country are planning a walkout to march for school safety. But our Jamont Terry live in Novi tonight. Schools are warning about a safety risk associated with the walkout. Jamont.
They are, Devin. Now, while this walkout is designed to show solidarity amongst youngsters and to get lawmakers to rethink gun laws, as you mentioned, imagine if the 2,000 students that attend Novi High just all of a sudden step outside. That could pose a problem.
We're going to be listening.
In Westland, a community gathers.
You have control and knowledge of what's going on with your children's social media.
They're here for one key issue.
About safety in our schools.
Just last week, the Wayne Westland Community School District canceled classes after an online threat. And now students across the nation, including Metro Detroit, plan to demonstrate by walking out of the classrooms next Wednesday.
I do believe in protest. I do believe in quiet protest. However, with children walking out, they're a target.
The idea is by leaving the hallways, it will show lawmakers youngsters care about the gun debate.
I don't really foresee our kids walking out as much as I do see them really focusing on being heard and sitting in.
Over at Novi, students from both the middle and high schools do plan to participate, and teachers have instructions.
If everybody leaves their classroom, then they can leave their classroom and lock their door. If somebody stays in their classroom, then they're to stay in their classroom with those students.
Novi's superintendent shares parents' fears, especially of 2,000 students jam the halls and walk outside at once.
It sets us up for a potential catastrophe.
The superintendent insisting it's hard to keep students safe if they are not inside.
They're going to be free to walk out of their classrooms, but we would prefer that they stay within the building.
But some parents aren't taking any chances.
I will keep my son home that day.
And school leaders across Metro Detroit asking parents to have a heart-to-heart conversation with their students, find out if they plan to participate because they want everyone to remain safe. Reporting live in Novi tonight, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
All right, Jermont, and let's move to Warren, where a 13-year-old is in trouble for allegedly bringing a knife to Carter Middle School.
The knife was found after he got into a fight with another student. One of the boys had a busted lip and had to go to the emergency room. His mother says her son was beaten because he was just trying to warn teachers about a weapon in the school.
My son is the victim here, and the school district is trying to downplay this like it was just two kids fighting.
Both students were suspended. We reached out to the school for comment, but our call was not returned. Last week, a student at Carter was charged for allegedly making a kill list.
Now we're talking about building one Detroit for all of us. And we're going to do it.
Mayor Duggan addressed so many topics at his annual State of the City address. You could be forgiven if you got a little whiplash trying to keep up with all of them. But tonight he waded into an area that no mayor has before. Mara McDonald live tonight at Western International High School. That's where the address was held. And Mara, there was a reason for that being the venue.
Devin, the sure thing, because the mayor, first thing out of the gate, addressed educational opportunities for Detroit's kids, whether they go to DPSCD or whether they're in charter schools. And no, we're not talking about a mayoral takeover of the schools, but something else entirely. Take a look.
And I want to talk today to those of you who stayed.
5 years ago, Duggan addressed basics like actually getting the street lights on. Now that the exodus has been stemmed from the city and lights and clean streets are the norm, it's time to tackle a dysfunctional school district and generational joblessness.
51,000 today go to DPSCD, 35,000 attend charters, and 32,500 children got up this morning and went to school in a school in the suburbs. And that says that what we're doing is not working.
So the mayor, DPSCD, and the charters that operate in the city had a summit and agreed it's time to work together. So what does it look like? Well, for starters, coming up with a bus system that can move children around the city.
I mean, I think that there's legitimate fear that this may be about mayoral takeover of our school system. The mayor has enough issues and enough challenges with the city. He's not interested in running the school district. What he's interested in is rebuilding the city.
And you have to have an educated populace to do it. Duggan has committed resources to help with career tech, not just the millions devoted to the Detroit Promise for 2-year and 4-year college degrees. And it's not just education for children. A massive part of this evening's address was devoted to job training programs for adults.
So whatever kind of job is in your heart, there's a good chance that we have the training program for you.
Back here live, Mayor Duggan addressed a lot of topics tonight, whether it was Project Greenlight or crime stats or an update on de-insurance or blighted properties. And if you want to take a look at the whole thing, there's a lot there. All you have to do is head to our web channel, click on Detroit.com. We're live in Southwest Detroit. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Mara, the Central Michigan University student accused of fatally shooting his parents on campus made his first appearance in court today. James Eric Davis Jr. appeared via video while he remains hospitalized. He was arraigned on murder charges. Davis allegedly shot his parents in his dorm room before leading police on a 16-hour manhunt. He's expected to be moved to jail as soon as he's discharged from the hospital. A 37-year-old man was sentenced today in connection with an attempted carjacking at an Allen Park gas station.
Earl Larsh pleaded guilty to carjacking last month. Security video shows him enter a woman's car as she was pumping gas at the BP gas station on Southfield Road. As you'll see here, he drove off with the nozzle still in the gas tank. He stopped in the parking lot, then ran away. Police arrested him the next day. Larsh was sentenced to 4 to 20 years in prison.
The stunt is dangerous, but that's why this video is the focus of an investigation. You'll see why an officer is under the microscope.
Also armed with assault rifles and up to no good, it would seem, a team of thieves trying to kick in a door. Something scares them away. The story coming up. Karen.
Would you let your child ride alone in a car with a complete stranger?
Some of the kids are setting up their own apps.
Kids breaking the ride-sharing rules.
Once that child shuts the door, that's it. They're at the full mercy of that driver.
The danger of teens riding alone in an Uber or a Lyft, and why some parents are letting it happen. A Defenders investigation next.
Making the most of your child's bedtime story. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tomorrow at 6 a.m., see how a simple change in how you read together boosts your child's brain in a big way.
Next.
Children going for a ride with complete strangers.
Some of the kids are setting up their own apps.
Breaking ride-sharing rules and putting themselves in danger. Most parents probably wouldn't let a child ride with a stranger, but some are letting it happen every day.
They're using Uber and Lyft to get their children home from school or to their after-school activities. The Defenders, though, have learned that the teens are finding their way onto those rides without their parents' knowledge.
Karen Drew has a look at why it could be a dangerous decision.
Picking up kids after school. Dropping them off at the movies or mall.
Needing to get your child from point A to point B.
What used to be typical chores for mom and dad are now being done by total strangers.
The youngest passenger that I know for a fact, because of conversation that I started up with this young lady, she was 14 years old.
Brandy is an Uber driver who asked us not to show her face. She says she responded to requests for a ride.
I didn't think anything of it because I assumed that as long as they had an account, everything was verified.
Only to discover the person waiting was a child. Uber's policy does not allow minors to ride unaccompanied, but in many cases, Brandy says busy parents were the ones actually arranging the rides for their kids.
There are many parents that do rely on Uber for their children, be it for functions, extracurricular activities.
In other cases, the children made the requests themselves.
Some of the kids are setting up their own apps.
3 girls total in the car. 2 13-year-olds and my daughter had just turned 14 that day.
Michelle Perenio is a mom and recently discovered her daughter was riding in an Uber with friends, no adult present.
One of her friends had a credit card, so this friend apparently had done it before.
The teens scheduled several rides with several different drivers.
So it was about 4 or 5 times.
So how were the girls able to get around the rules? Well, Uber driver Brandy says some are willing to break policy for cash. She says she's not willing to do that.
Whether it's somebody's livelihood or just doing it for extra money on the side, we can't take that risk.
They're in the car with a stranger. They're by themselves.
Crime Stoppers says Uber and Lyft do what they can to stop kids from riding by themselves.
The platforms themselves say do not put your minors in our cars.
The policies are in place for good reason. If there's an accident, the driver can't make decisions about your child's medical care. And even with the driver background checks now mandatory, remember, the safety of your child is in the hands of a stranger you've never met before.
Once that child shuts the door, that's it. They're at the full mercy of that driver.
Uber says it's their policy to disable an account if a minor is found using the app. Lyft has similar rules regulating minors riding without adults. If you want to see both of those companies' policies, I've posted them on the Defenders page here at clickondetroit.com. Reporting in downtown, I'm Karen Drew, Local 4 Defenders.
All right, Karen. Now here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow night.
Many children who are bullied suffer in silence. One woman is trying to change that.
I'm going to tell you a story about the power of words.
After she was bullied, she vowed to use her voice and words to help other teenagers. Her survival guide to bullying for both kids and parents tomorrow at 11. Could be an interesting morning of driving again, as timing, that's kind of the way it has been this winter, though. Timing's been, it's all about timing.
Yeah, the parts you don't want it to snow in, Mother Nature says that's what it's
on, yeah.
Hopefully we've had enough practice this season that another couple inches isn't going to drive us nuts, but I think we all know the answer to that. Here's 4 Live Radar, and this is that band that we're watching. 2 interesting things here. All the motion today has generally been south to north as everything has started to migrate that direction. You start looking out here west of Lansing, you can start to see everything starting to move the other way, or at least perpendicular to that. This is all rotating around a low, which is off to our south. So that line is just going to continue to pivot pretty much in the same spot. So our north zone is going to be getting the worst of it. And that's coming down at some moderate clips there from Livingston County right on up through Lake Huron. So we're going to continue to watch that overnight. Had a lot of storm pins in today. This one was from Novi. Jason sent us this. You can see those flakes coming down in the lights. Bluefield Hills, they call this the Fast and Furious Flakes. I think they're on to, what, number 16 in that series, something like that. And our own Paul Gross sent this in. This was some of the snow that was on his lilac bushes. Beautiful shot there, but could be causing some issues when that stuff hits the pavement tomorrow morning. We picked up 3/10 of an inch of snow, and that amazing total for the season just keeps growing. We're at 58 inches right now for the season. Our average for the entire season is 42.7, so we're going to keep going. In fact, if we get another ½ inch before the season is done, that's going to put us at number 20 for the snowiest seasons of all time here in Detroit. So you can see how everything has migrated from rain to snow across the area. And as that band rotates around through the overnight hours, again, the north zone is going to get most of that snow. There will be some spots that get it south of there, but there's going to be a lot of spots that don't. So if you wake up tomorrow and you don't see snow, well, consider yourself lucky, but most of it's going to be hanging out in our north zone. By noon, we get a little bit of a break, and then the snow starts returning. And watch, we'll just see waves of this as we go through Wednesday night and into Thursday. And again, it's areas north of Detroit that are going to be impacted the most. So those accumulations will continue to stack up. 48-hour totals could top 6 inches, but we're going to focus just on tomorrow morning's commute, and that's where that band of accumulation looks like it's setting up. And again, the models have placed this all over the place, but that looks like where we're going to be seeing it as we get closer to tomorrow morning. So let's take a closer look at the numbers in our 4-zone forecast. We'll start in the metro zone, and some spots may not see any accumulation. In the city of Detroit could be one of those. Maybe a couple tenths of an inch. Downriver, a little bit less of a shot. Get up towards West Bloomfield, and you could get 1 to 2 inches. Not much going on here in our south zone either. And then things start to change as we get west and north. You see down to around Ann Arbor about 1 inch of snow. There's that narrow but fairly intense band. Could put down 3 inches of snow just through the commute in Livingston County, stretching into Oakland County. And those numbers go up as you reach into Lapeer County, Sanilac, and out towards the lake, 3 to 4 inches just through the morning commute. And again, those numbers keep going up as we get later into Wednesday and Thursday. So temperatures down to 30 tonight. We'll call it periods of light snow. Most of it is going to be within that band. And then another couple shots Wednesday and into Thursday. We finally get a break there Friday going into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the 40s. We'll start melting it again, and most likely we'll see another shot at some point coming down the road.
Weird how thin these bands are of big differences.
Yeah, but still putting down moderate snow.
Yeah,
stacking up.
Cause some havoc. Okay, thanks, Ben.
A new warning to young people about vaping, the big health risk associated with e-cigarettes.
But first, they look like they're ready to go to war. A team of men armed with assault rifles trying to kick in a door. What scared them away?